Leo XIV, New Times, A Church of New Paths. An in-depth analysis of the program and reforms of the Pope of Hope 2025. Rerum Renovatio, a new social encyclical is the foundation of renewed teaching. Pope Leo XIV's upcoming encyclical, Rerum Renovatio, the renewal of things, is intended as a spiritual and intellectual continuation of Leo XIII's Rerum Novarum, 1891. Back then, the Church first addressed issues of labor, private property, and social justice in the face of capitalism and rising socialism. Today, Leo XIV sees new things, new threats and new forms of poverty. Globalization without solidarity, digital alienation among the young, migration driven by war and climate, loneliness and a crisis of meaning in secularized societies. The papal message signals a turn toward the existential peripheries, not just geographic, but also spiritual. Drawing on the prophetic vision of the Church as a community, for the world, not against the world, Leo XIV seeks to redefine the Catholic presence in public debate, not as a political force, but as the conscience of society. A church that is poor and for the poor, concrete actions, not symbolism. The Pope is taking tangible steps. Renouncing the papal apartment, traveling in economy class, selling Vatican-owned luxury properties and redirecting funds to refugee aid, homes for single mothers, and missions in sub-Saharan Africa. This is not a PR stunt, it is a deliberate spiritual act that sets the tone for his entire pontificate. In the spirit of St. Francis, whose name he inherited from his predecessor, Pope Francis, Leo XIV wants to renew the face of a church that has spoken too long about poverty without living it. He reminds the faithful that the poor are not just recipients of aid, they are active agents of evangelization. Reform of the Roman Curia, decentralization and evangelization of structures. Under the motto, more gospel, less bureaucracy, the Pope is transforming the Curia from an administrative political institution into a missionary tool. He is reducing the number of dicasteries, merging functions, and eliminating excessive honorary titles. In their place, new structures for urban pastoral care, a secretariat for AI and technological ethics, a special office for digital missions and the Church's online presence. Financial transparency accompanies these reforms, mandatory audits, publicly released reports, and Vatican asset management entrusted to independent commissions with lay participation. Opening to optional celibacy, a pastoral, not ideological, shift. Leo XIV allows optional celibacy in certain regions, e.g., the Amazon, the Philippines, the Democratic Republic of Congo, where there is a shortage of clergy. The proposal of viri probati, mature, married men of proven faith, is not a break with tradition but a return to it. The Eastern Church has followed this model for centuries. The Pope emphasizes that celibacy remains a value, but not an absolute requirement. This is a measured step, not toward liberalization, but toward responding to the local needs of church communities. Future generations of priests are to be formed not by isolation, but by service and community. The role of women, the diaconate, leadership, and equal responsibility. Leo XIV breaks the silence on women's roles in the Church. While he does not permit female priesthood, he decisively opens doors to the female diaconate, especially where women already serve in pastoral roles, Africa, Asia. Women's participation in decision-making, episcopal councils, doctrinal commissions, church tribunals. Leadership roles in the Vatican, e.g., the first female prefect of the dicastery for family and life. This is a spiritual breakthrough. The Pope speaks not of inclusivity as a buzzword, but of the shared priesthood of all baptized believers. Zero tolerance for abuse, Veritas Vulnerum is a new code of accountability. The new apostolic constitution Veritas Vulnerum, the truth of wounds, introduces mandatory suspension of clergy at the first credible allegation of abuse, independent lay-led commissions in every diocese, a transparency requirement for bishops. All cases must be publicly recorded. The Pope is clear, the Church cannot preach the gospel if it hides evil within its ranks. Credibility begins with truth, even the hardest truths. Integral ecology, Laudato Si, and climate ethics. Leo XIV continues Pope Francis's legacy and expands it in a new context. He announces A monthly day of ecological prayer and fasting. A. Zero Emission Church Program, Vatican Climate Neutrality by 2030. Local initiatives. Parish communities as green oases, gardens, water sources, clothing and food exchange points. This is not eco-ideology, it is a theology of creation. Humanity is stewards of the earth, not its masters. Ecology is now a moral imperative, and the Pope speaks of ecological sin as a real, personal, and social failing. A new evangelization of Europe, spiritual antidotes for a secularized world. Leo XIV launches The Resurrection of Faith, a fresh approach to secularized nations. Lay and clerical missionaries trained in apologetics, philosophy, and social media. Public catechesis for adults in universities, parks, and cafes. Night of Mercy, vigils in cathedrals with adoration, confessions by candlelight, live music, and testimonies. The Pope knows Europe is no longer a continent of believers, but it remains a continent thirsting for meaning. The Church in the Digital World, the Ecclesia.net, Platform and Tech Ethics. The Pope is creating a digital pastoral ministry. Daily online homilies, interactive retreats, theological e-books, live streams from monasteries. A meditation app with gospel reflections and an examination of conscience. Debates with AI and tech leaders on consciousness, freedom, and morality in the age of algorithms. Under Leo XIV, the Church does not fear the digital world, but refuses to let it dominate humanity. The question remains, what does it mean to be a person in the digital age? A church of reconciliation, the diplomacy of faith and interreligious dialogue. Leo XIV is preparing a world summit of religions, a gathering of spiritual leaders from all traditions to jointly oppose wars Ukraine, the Middle East, Sudan. Promote religious freedom. Build a global ethics of conscience based on the Ten Commandments and the law of love. This is not syncretism, it is spiritual brotherhood. The Pope reminds the world that peace is not just the absence of war, it is the presence of justice, hope, and forgiveness. Conclusion. A church returning to its roots, to move forward. Leo XIV is not a revolutionary, he is a prophet calling the church back to the gospel. In times of confusion, he offers clarity. In an age of cynicism, mercy. In a world of isolation, community. His pontificate answers the cry of modern humanity. Show us a church that believes what it preaches. A church that lives as it teaches.